Hi, thank you for joining me. Today, what I would like to go over, since this is a holiday season, is creating a few cards for gift giving, if you will, or just for hanging around your home. These are just a few of the cards that I have received over some time. This one is really elaborate. This is pretty plain, and some are a little more elaborate than others. But what I will tell you is the standard size for cards, and the reason why you want a standard size is because if you decide you want to give these away to someone, you would like to have them fit into an envelope without having to make an envelope. So the standard size for a postcard is a 4" by 6". And you can do one of those, which it would just be a plain card. You would not have to fold it. These are regular cards, and so they would have to be folded. And the standard sizes for those are 4.5 by 6.5. Sometimes you may see a 4.5 by 6 3/4. The main thing, what you would do to make it easier for you is to just go get a card that you have, if you like the size of it, and use that as a way to measure. So that's what we're going to do, and I'll show you how to do that. I have a few items off camera, which most of us have watercolor sets. I will attempt to show you how to do this with a watercolor and with acrylics, but you can use the two together. This is just my container with water, and then here you will see I have pencils and a couple of brushes. These come with the watercolor sets. What I have done is, if I have found a brush in a watercolor set that I like, I tend to keep the brush even if I don't use the watercolor. And this is one that I found in a little kitty set. My grandchildren had this some years ago, and this is what it came with, some kind of acrylic paint, which is all dried up. But this brush, I like the tip and I like the length of the brush. And so for something like that, you can keep that and use it. I also tend to use, when I use watercolors, I tend to use water-soluble pencils to go back and accentuate or accent different areas of the painting. So those will be off camera, and I may from time to time move them around and get them out of my way. So I'm going to set this to the side, which that's what I think I do. I'll set that over to the side. These are scrap pieces of paper that I have printed on and just cut this off. And so instead of throwing it away and recycling it for my normal handmade paper, it was a pretty large size, so I decided I'd hold on to it, and if nothing came of it, then I'd use it for something else. But what do you know, something has. So what we're going to do is take these, I cut the larger piece down to size, and then I just folded it in half. That way, I have two other pieces. And just to double check, you see, let me flip that over so you can see what it looks like. To double check the size, it don't have to be exact, but it needs to be close to accurate so that it will fit in the envelope. So that is what you're looking at there. And then all you would need to do is fold it in half. And an easy way to do that, I'll say this. Put this on end so that these ends are lined up, and so is this edge here. Hold it down in place and fold this up to the edge of the card. And you will have to use two hands and force that back edge up along this line with your index finger, holding it in here And the reason being is because this is not a regular cardstock, and so it is much stiffer than these cards are, and it will tend to bend in places you don't want it to. Hold the edges together, lay it flat. Sometimes you don't get this exact, but you can get it close, and then run your finger along the edge. If you want that crease to be more prominent, you would come along and do this. I would recommend doing this on the back, pressing this down on the back edge, not the edge you're going to paint on, because it may scrape into it. So that's how you would fold those as far as a card would go. Other things that you would need, you would find helpful. Some people call them artsy craftsy, but they work when you are making cards and it's for embellishment's sake. Some type of glitter, different color glitter, depends on what you want to do. I'm going to use the white out of this, and ribbon. So we may not get to use the ribbon, but we may. And that would go on, I think that would go better, adhere better to the surface with a glue gun. Use a low temp if you have it, so that you do not burn yourself. I'm going to take an extra piece of the paper that I cut off, and using these two, I kind of like that piece Enjoy. So remember, with watercolors, white space is not easy to come by, and so you must maintain the white on the card, on the paper, if you want white at the end. Another way to overcome that problem, because in watercolor, once you cover up a space, you can't erase it. Another way to overcome that problem is to use the acrylic paints on top of it, or to come back over it with some glitter. This I'm going to use as a test piece.